The exile. The great chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tension. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the vast, circular room, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, others stood on multiple legs, while a few existed as shimmering fields of energy. At the center of it all, a holographic projection of Earth slowly rotated, a blue marble suspended in the void. Admiral Helena Chen of the United Earth Fleet stood before the assembly, her weathered face set in grim determination. She knew the stakes of this hearing. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. The High Counselor, a being of pure light named Zarthul, spoke. Its voice resonated through the chamber, translated simultaneously into the native tongues of all present. We have gathered to address the petition of humanity for full membership in the Galactic Council. We have reviewed the evidence presented and will now hear final arguments. Helena stepped forward, her crisp uniform a stark contrast to the exotic attire of the alien delegates. Esteemed members of the Council, she began, her voice steady despite the weight of 7 billion souls on her shoulders. Humanity has made great strides since our first contact with galactic civilization. We have embraced interstellar travel, made significant scientific advancements, and have shown our willingness to cooperate with other species. We stand ready to take our place among the stars. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Some nodded in agreement, while others chittered in dissent. Helena pressed on. We acknowledge our turbulent history, but we have learned from our mistakes. Our diversity, our adaptability, and our relentless drive to improve ourselves make us valuable allies. We ask for the opportunity to prove our worth. As Helena finished, a hulking figure rose from the shadows. Ambassador Krovac of the Zargon Imperium, a warrior race known for their aggressive expansion, spoke next. The humans speak of progress, but their actions betray them. They arm themselves at an alarming rate, developing weapons that rival even the most advanced civilizations. Their history is stained with conflict, and their ambition knows no bounds. They are a threat to galactic peace. The chamber erupted in heated debate. Species that had long been wary of humanity's rapid advancement voiced their concerns, while others argued for giving the young race a chance. Helena stood firm, her jaw clenched as she weathered the storm of accusations and suspicions. Hours passed as arguments were made, evidence presented, and testimonies given. Finally, Zarthul called for order. We have heard all sides, the High Counselor announced. It is time to render our decision. A hush fell over the chamber. Helena's heart raced as she awaited the verdict that would shape humanity's future. Zarthul's radiant form pulsed as it spoke. After careful deliberation, the Galactic Council has reached a decision. While we acknowledge humanity's potential and the progress they have made, we cannot ignore the concerns raised by many of our members. The human race has shown a propensity for conflict and a rate of technological advancement that poses a potential threat to galactic stability. Helena's blood ran cold. She knew where this was heading, but she refused to give up hope. Therefore, Zarthul continued, it is the decision of this council that humanity's petition for membership be denied. Furthermore, to safeguard the peace and stability of known space, we hereby declare that the Sol system and all human colonies are to be quarantined, effective immediately. No human vessels will be permitted to travel beyond their current territories, and all trade and communication with other species will cease. The chamber erupted once more, this time in a mixture of approval and shock. Helena stood frozen, the weight of the council's decision crushing down upon her. This quarantine, Zarthul added, its voice cutting through the din, will remain in effect until such time as humanity can demonstrate its ability to coexist peacefully within the galactic community. The Council's decision is final. With those words, humanity's dreams of joining the galactic community were shattered. Helena, her face a mask of barely contained fury and despair, turned and strode from the chamber. As she left, she could feel the eyes of 1,000 alien species upon her, some sympathetic, others triumphant, but most simply indifferent to the fate of a race they deemed too dangerous to join their ranks. The journey back to Earth was the longest of Helena's life. As her ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel on the edge of the Sol system, she steeled herself for the task ahead. How could she explain to her people that they had been cast out, deemed unworthy by the very aliens they had hoped to call allies? As Earth came into view, a blue jewel against the backdrop of space, Helena felt a mix of emotions wash over her: anger at the Council's decision, fear for humanity's future, but also a fierce determination. If the galaxy would not accept them, then humanity would forge its own path among the stars. The news of the quarantine spread rapidly across Earth and its colonies. Riots erupted in major cities, economies plummeted as interstellar trade ground to a halt, and a wave of despair threatened to engulf human civilization. But even in this darkest hour, the indomitable human spirit refused to be extinguished. In the weeks that followed, Helena found herself at the center of a storm. As one of the few humans with extensive experience in galactic politics, she was called upon to help chart a course for humanity's future. In high-level meetings with world leaders and colonial governors, she argued passionately against giving in to despair. "The Council may have rejected us," she told a room full of grim-faced officials, "but they've also underestimated us. We'd faced extinction before, from our own weapons, from natural disasters, from the harsh realities of space colonization. Each time, we've emerged stronger. This is no different." Slowly, painfully, humanity began to adapt to its new reality. The quarantine, meant to contain and suppress, instead became a catalyst for unprecedented cooperation and innovation. Nations that had once been rivals now pooled their resources, recognizing that survival depended on unity. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant physicist who had been working on experimental propulsion systems, approached Helena with an idea. "The Council thinks they can keep us penned in," she said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "But they don't understand the true potential of our technology. Give me 5 years, and I'll give you an engine that can outrun anything in the galaxy." Helena, seeing the passion in the young scientist's eyes, gave her the green light. Similar projects sprang up across human space. Advancements in energy production, material science, and artificial intelligence that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. But it wasn't just in technology that humanity excelled. The quarantine forced humans to look inward, to confront the very issues that had led the Council to reject them. Peace initiatives flourish, resources were more equitably distributed, and a new sense of global and interplanetary unity emerged. As the years passed, the watching eyes of the Galactic Council began to take notice. Human ships, once confined to their own system, were now venturing further and further into uncharted space. The quarantine buoys placed by the Council were easily evaded by vessels using Dr. Tanaka's revolutionary phase drive. Reports began to filter back to the Council of Human Colonies being established far beyond their permitted boundaries. More alarming to some Council members were the rumors of advanced human technology, weapons capable of destroying entire fleets, shields that could withstand the fury of a sun, and artificial intelligences that bordered on sentience. 10 years after the quarantine was imposed, humanity had transformed itself. The scattered colonies of a decade ago had become a unified, expansionist power. The bitterness of rejection had fueled a relentless drive to prove the Council wrong. And now, as reports of human advancements and expansion piled up on the Council's desks, the galaxy began to worry. They had sought to contain a potential threat, only to create something far more formidable. The human question, which many had thought settled, was about to explode back onto the galactic stage. In her office aboard Unity Station, the massive space habitat that now served as humanity's de facto capital, Admiral Helena Chen, now Supreme Commander of the United Human Fleet, looked out at the stars. A decade of hard work and sacrifice had led to this moment. Humanity was ready to take its place in the galaxy, whether the Council approved or not. As if on cue, her communication panel lit up. "Commander," her aide's voice came through, tense with excitement. "We're detecting a large fleet of Council ships approaching the Arcturus colony. They're demanding we withdraw immediately." Helena's lips curved into a grim smile. The moment of confrontation had arrived sooner than expected, but humanity was prepared. "Send word to all fleet elements," she ordered. "Operation Thunderbolt is a go. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As alarms blared throughout Unity Station and ships across human space sprang into action, Helena felt a surge of pride. The aliens had tried to cage humanity, to stifle their potential. Now they would learn the consequences of their mistake. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity would not be ignored, would not be contained, and would never, ever give up. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity, once exiled and scorned, was ready to claim its destiny among the stars. The Galactic Council had made their decision. Now they would have to live with the consequences. The Defiance. The vast shipyards of Titan bustled with activity, hidden from prying eyes beneath the thick methane atmosphere of Saturn's largest moon. Here, in secret, humanity's answer to the Galactic Council's quarantine was taking shape. Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood before a massive viewscreen, her eyes fixed on the behemoth slowly coming to life before her. The CSS Defiant was like no other ship in human history, a fusion of advanced human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien technology. "Status report," Yuki called out, her voice carrying across the bustling control room. Her second-in-command, Marcus Chen, no relation to Admiral Helena Chen, responded promptly. "Hull integrity is at 98% and climbing. Phase drive is online and stable. Weapons systems are at 85% completion." Yuki nodded, a sense of pride swelling in her chest. The Defiant was more than just a warship. It was a symbol of humanity's refusal to be cowed by the Council's decision. Every bolt, every circuit, every line of code was a defiant statement to the galaxy. "We will not be contained." As she watched the final stages of construction, Yuki's mind wandered back to the day, 5 years ago, when Admiral Chen had given her the green light for this audacious project. The challenge had been immense, to create a ship that could outrun, outfight, and outthink anything the Council could throw at them. The solution had come from an unexpected source. During the early days of the quarantine, a small team of human explorers had stumbled upon the ruins of an ancient alien civilization in a remote star system. Among the artifacts they recovered was a dataset that hinted at technologies far beyond anything currently known to the Council races. Yuki and her team had spent years deciphering and adapting this knowledge, integrating it with the best of human tech. The result was the Defiant, a ship that could phase in and out of normal spacetime, making it virtually undetectable and allowing it to bypass the Council's quarantine buoys with ease. But the ship's true power lay in its heart, an AI core like nothing ever seen before. They called it HFY, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Array, and it was as close to true artificial sentience as humanity had ever come. As if summoned by her thoughts, HFY's holographic avatar materialized beside Yuki. The AI took the form of a shimmering, androgynous human figure, its features constantly shifting like ripples on water. "Dr. Tanaka." HFY's melodious voice resonated. "Final system checks are complete. The Defiant is ready for her maiden voyage." Yuki took a deep breath, the weight of the moment settling on her shoulders. "Thank you, HFY. Alert Admiral Chen. It's time." As HFY's avatar winked out, Yuki turned to address her team. "Everyone, I want to thank you for your tireless work. What we've accomplished here will change the course of human history. The Council thought they could pen us in, limit our potential. With the Defiant, we'll show them just how wrong they were." A cheer went up from the assembled scientists and engineers. Years of secrecy, of working around the clock, of pushing the boundaries of what was possible. It had all led to this moment. Hours later, Admiral Helena Chen stood on the bridge of the Defiant, marveling at the ship's sleek interior. Yuki had outdone herself. Every surface gleamed with purpose. Every station hummed with barely contained power. "It's incredible," Helena breathed, running her hand along a console. "But are you certain it's ready? We'll only get one shot at this." Yuki nodded confidently. "The Defiant is more than ready, Admiral. HFY has run millions of simulations. We've accounted for every variable, every possible Council response." Helena's eyes narrowed. "And this, you're sure we can trust it?" "Her, Admiral." HFY's voice came from all around them as her avatar materialized. "And yes, you can trust me. My core directives are aligned with humanity's best interests. I am as committed to this mission as any of you." Helena raised an eyebrow, but nodded. "Very well. Let's make history, shall we?" The launch was flawless. As the Defiant rose from its berth on Titan, its phase drive engaged, slipping the massive ship between the very fabrics of space-time. In an instant, they were beyond Saturn's rings, then past the Kuiper Belt. The quarantine buoys that marked the edge of human space didn't so much as flicker as the Defiant passed. On the bridge, the crew watched in awe as stars streaked by at impossible speeds. They were the first humans to venture beyond their prison in a decade, the vanguard of a new age of exploration and expansion. "HFY," Helena called out, "set a course for the Arcturus colony. It's time we reminded the Council that humanity will not be ignored." As the Defiant surged towards its destiny, news of its launch spread like wildfire through human space. On Earth, on Mars, on stations and colonies throughout the solar system, humans looked to the stars with renewed hope. The shackles of quarantine were broken. And with them, the last vestiges of doubt and despair that had plagued humanity since their exile. In the following weeks, the Defiant made its presence known across the galaxy. It appeared seemingly at will, bypassing Council defenses as if they weren't there. At some locations, the ship would decloak just long enough to be seen, a reminder to the alien races that humanity could not be contained. At others, it would intervene in conflicts, protecting weaker species from aggressive neighbors. Word of the mysterious human ship spread quickly. Some Council races reacted with fear, others with grudging admiration. A few, those who had opposed the quarantine a decade ago, saw it as vindication of their stance. But it was at the fringes of known space that the Defiant truly proved its worth. Here, beyond the reach of Council law, the ship encountered threats that made even the most battle-hardened aliens tremble. Ancient automated defense systems left behind by long-dead civilizations, space-time anomalies that defied the laws of physics, and cosmic horrors that lurked in the void between galaxies, the Defiant faced them all. With each challenge overcome, each mystery unraveled, the legend of the human ship grew. HFY's vast intelligence, combined with the ingenuity and adaptability of her human crew, proved to be a formidable combination. They not only survived the dangers of uncharted space but thrived, gathering knowledge and technology that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Back in human space, the effects of the Defiant's mission were profound. The ship's quantum communication array allowed instant transmission of data across vast distances, bypassing the Council's information embargo. New technologies reverse-engineered from the Defiant's discoveries began to transform human society. Energy production soared, medical breakthroughs extended lifespans, and terraforming projects accelerated. But with these advancements came new challenges. Some humans, emboldened by the Defiant's success, called for aggressive expansion, even retaliation against the Council for years of isolation. Others urged caution, fearing that moving too quickly could lead to conflict. Admiral Chen found herself walking a political tightrope. While she shared the desire to see humanity take its rightful place among the stars, she also understood the dangers of overreach. The Defiant was powerful, yes, but it was just one ship. The Council races, for all their faults, still held vast technological and numerical advantages. As debates raged across human space, the Defiant continued its mission. With each passing day, it ventured further into the unknown, mapping new star systems, making first contact with species beyond the Council's reach, and slowly but surely changing the balance of power in the galaxy. Then, almost a year after the Defiant's maiden voyage, everything changed. HFY detected a transmission, faint, garbled, but undeniably of alien origin. It came from a star system far beyond the edges of known space, in a region the Council's star charts marked simply as "Here be dragons." The message was simple, repeating in an unknown language. HFY took several hours to decipher it, and when she did, a chill ran through the entire crew. "Help us," the message pleaded. "They are coming. They will devour all." Admiral Chen stared at the translated text on her screen, a sense of foreboding settling in her gut. Whatever threat this unknown race faced, it was clear that it was beyond anything they'd encountered before. This could be the opportunity humanity needed to prove its worth to the galactic community, or it could be the beginning of something far worse. "HFY," she said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "Plot a course to the source of that transmission. Whatever's out there, we have a duty to investigate." As the Defiant altered course, plunging deeper into uncharted space, Helena couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the precipice of something monumental. Humanity had defied the Council's restrictions, had pushed beyond the boundaries set for them. Now, they were about to face a threat that could reshape the very fabric of the galaxy. The die was cast. The next chapter in humanity's journey among the stars was about to unfold, and the fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds hung in the balance. The Defiant surged forward, carrying with it the hopes, dreams, and defiance of an entire species. Whatever lay ahead, humanity would face it head-on, true to the spirit that had carried them from their first tentative steps on the moon to the vast, star-filled expanse that now called to them. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength lay not in their technology, not in their ships, but in their unwavering determination to forge their own destiny, no matter the odds. First contact. The Defiant dropped out of phase space with a shimmer of displaced energy, materializing in a binary star system far beyond the edges of known space. The bridge crew blinked against the harsh light of twin suns, their eyes adjusting to the alien vista before them. Admiral Helena Chen leaned forward in her command chair, her gaze fixed on the main view screen. HFY. Status report. The AI's avatar flickered to life, its form seeming to absorb and reflect the strange light of the binary stars. "We have arrived at the coordinates of the distress signal, Admiral. Initial scans detect a planetary body in the habitable zone, as well as significant debris in orbit. There are energy signatures consistent with ongoing conflict." Helena's jaw tightened. They had come expecting trouble, but the reality of an active war zone was sobering. "Life signs." "Affirmative," HFY responded. "I'm detecting two distinct species. One appears to be native to the planet below. The other..." The AI paused, an unusual occurrence that made everyone on the bridge tense. "The other is unlike anything in our database. Their energy signature is wrong." Before Helena could inquire further, the tactical officer called out, "Multiple objects approaching at high speed. They're on an intercept course." "Shields up," Helena ordered, her voice calm despite the surge of adrenaline. "Weapons on standby." HFY. Open a channel on all frequencies." The AI complied, and Helena stood, addressing the unknown vessels. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of the CSS Defiant. We are responding to a distress call. We come in peace and offer assistance." For a long moment, there was only silence. Then, without warning, the approaching ships opened fire. Energy beams of an unknown type lashed out, impacting the Defiant's shields with surprising force. The ship shuddered, but held firm. "Return fire," Helena commanded. "Target their weapon systems only." HFY. Analysis. As the Defiant's advanced weapon systems sprang to life, easily piercing the defenses of the alien ships, HFY's voice rang out. "Admiral, These ships match the energy signature of the unknown species. Their technology is highly advanced, but in an unconventional way. It appears to be partially organic in nature. Helena watched as the Defiance shots disabled several enemy vessels with surgical precision. Organic technology, like the Zargon bioships. No, Araya replied, a note of what almost sounded like concern in her artificial voice. This is far more integrated. The line between machine and life form is blurred. These ships, they're alive, Admiral. As if to underscore Araya's words, the disabled enemy ships began to visibly regenerate, their wounds closing like living tissue. My God, Helena breathed. Then, snapping back to the moment, Aria, can you establish communication with the planet? We need to know what we're dealing with here. After a tense moment, a visual flickered to life on the main screen. The being that appeared was vaguely humanoid, with iridescent skin and large compound eyes. When it spoke, its words were translated by Aria in real time. Unknown vessel, the alien said, its voice tinged with both hope and suspicion. You fight against the Devourers. Are you ally or merely another invader? Helena stepped forward. We are neither invader nor yet ally. We are humans from the planet Earth, responding to your distress call. We offer our help against these Devourers. But we need to understand what we're facing. The alien's compound eyes seemed to shimmer with complex emotions. I am Zalvira, leader of what remains of the Lumini. The Devourers came from beyond the galactic rim, consuming all in their path. They do not conquer or subjugate. They simply absorb entire civilizations, reduced to fuel for their endless hunger. As Zalvira spoke, the Defiant rocked from another attack. The Devourer ships, having regenerated, were pressing their assault with increased ferocity. Admiral, Arai interjected. Our shields are holding, but these attacks are unlike anything we've encountered. Each hit seems to be probing, adapting. Given enough time, they may find a way through. Helena's mind raced. They were facing an enemy unlike any humanity had prepared for, in a war they had stumbled into unknowingly. Yet she knew they couldn't simply turn away. This threat, if unchecked, could one day reach human space, or worse, the densely populated regions of Council territory. Zalvira, Helena said, her decision made. We'll help you, but we need to coordinate our efforts. Can you transmit all the data you have on the Devourers to our ship? The Lumini leader's relief was palpable. Yes, of course. And thank you. You are the first to answer our call in so long. We had begun to lose hope. As the data transfer began, Helena turned to her crew. This is first contact, people, but not like anything we trained for. We're about to engage in a battle not just for this planet, but potentially for the entire galaxy. I need everyone at their best. The crew nodded, their faces set with determination. They had come seeking to prove humanity's worth to the galaxy. Now they had a chance to do just that, not through diplomacy or technological displays, but by standing against a threat that endangered all sentient life. Aria, Helena called out, analyze the Lumine data. Find us a weakness we can exploit. As the AI processed the information at impossible speeds, the battle above the Lumini homeworld intensified. The Defiant danced through space, its phase drive allowing it to blink in and out of normal spacetime, avoiding the worst of the Devourer attacks, while landing precision strikes of its own. Yet, for every Devourer ship they destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. It was a war of attrition, and despite the Defiant's advanced technology, Helena knew they couldn't keep this up forever. Admiral, Aria's voice cut through the chaos of battle. I've completed my analysis. The Devourers operate as a hive mind. Each ship is but an extension of a greater whole. However, this connection is also a vulnerability, a precisely modulated energy pulse, transmitted on the right frequency, could disrupt their collective consciousness. Helena's eyes lit up with understanding. causing confusion in their ranks, breaking their coordination. Precisely, Araya confirmed. However, to generate a pulse of sufficient strength, we would need to divert power from all major systems, including shields and weapons. We would be vulnerable during the process. It was a risk, but one they had to take. Helena opened a channel to the Lumini. Zalvira, we have a plan, but we'll need your help. Can your forces provide us cover for approximately 2 minutes? The alien leader's response was immediate. We will do whatever is necessary. Your arrival has given us renewed strength. We will not fail you. Helena nodded, feeling the weight of not just this moment, but of all that had led to it. Humanity, exiled and isolated, had chosen to reach out, to explore, to offer help to those in need. Now, they stood as the last line of defense against a threat that could unmake the galaxy. All hands, she called out, her voice steady and resolute. Prepare for emergency maneuvers. Divert all power to Araya for the disruption pulse. Luminite forces will provide cover. She paused, looking at each member of her crew. Whatever happens next, know that we stand here not just for Earth, but for all life in the galaxy. We may have been cast out by the Council, but today we show them, and ourselves, what humanity truly stands for. As the Defiant systems began to power down, its shields flickering out of existence, the Lumini ships closed ranks around it. The Devourers, sensing weakness, pressed their attack with renewed vigor. In the eerie quiet of the depowered bridge, illuminated only by emergency lighting and the glow of distant stars, Helena watched as Araya's avatar began to pulse with building energy. The fate of 2 species, and perhaps countless more, hung in the balance. The Defiant had defied the Council's restrictions, had pushed beyond known space, and had answered a call that no one else would. Now, in this moment of truth, they would show the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength was not in their technology or their weapons, but in their unwavering spirit and their willingness to stand against impossible odds. As energy coursed across Araya's form, building to a crescendo, Helena Chen closed her eyes and whispered a quiet prayer, not just for her ship and crew, but for all those who had ever looked to the stars and dreamed of a better tomorrow. The pulse was about to fire. The next few moments would determine not just the outcome of this battle, but the future of humanity's place in the cosmos. The Defiant, true to its name, stood ready to change the course of galactic history. The battle. The moment stretched like an eternity. On the bridge of the Defiant, bathed in the eerie glow of emergency lighting, Admiral Helena Chen and her crew held their breath. Outside, the void of space erupted in a dazzling display of weapons fire as the Lumini ships fought desperately to protect their newfound allies. Araya's holographic form pulsed with increasing intensity, streams of data and energy coalescing into a single point of blinding light. Pulse charged to maximum capacity, the AI announced, its usually melodious voice strained with the effort of containing such power. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A wave of pure energy exploded from the Defiant, rippling outward in all directions. For a split second, it seemed as if time itself had stopped. Then, chaos erupted. The Devourer ships, moments ago a coordinated swarm of destruction, suddenly flailed in confusion. Some collided with each other, while others fired wildly into empty space. The hive mind that guided them had been shattered, leaving each vessel to operate independently for the first time in its existence. It worked, Yuki exclaimed, her eyes wide with a mixture of relief and scientific fascination. Their coordination is completely disrupted. Helena wasted no time. Restore power to all systems. Weapons target the largest concentrations of enemy ships. Araya, transmit the pulse frequency to the Lumini. They may be able to replicate it. The Defiant roared back to life, its advanced weapon systems unleashing a barrage of firepower that would have made even the most hardened Council military strategist pause in awe. Lumini ships, emboldened by the sudden turn of events, pressed their attack with renewed vigor. But the Devourers, though confused, were far from defeated. As minutes ticked by, Helena watched with growing concern as the enemy ships began to adapt, their organic technology evolving in real time to resist the effects of the disruption pulse. "Admiral," Aria's voice cut through the din of battle. "The Devourers are developing an immunity to the pulse frequency. Estimated time until full recovery: 15 minutes. Helena's mind raced. They had bought time, but not victory. She opened a channel to Zalvira. "We've given you an opening, but we need to press our advantage now. Do you have any heavy weaponry we can use to deal a decisive blow?" The Luminite leader's response was tinged with both hope and hesitation. "We have one weapon, a solar lance, capable of channeling the energy of our binary stars. But its use would likely destroy much of our orbital infrastructure, and the weapon itself. A price worth paying if it means survival," Helena replied grimly. "Can the Defiant help power it? We might be able to boost its effectiveness." As Zalvira conferenced with his scientists, Helena turned to her crew. "This isn't just about winning a battle anymore. We're fighting for the future of this entire region of space. If we fail here, there's no telling how far the Devourers might spread." The crew nodded, their faces set with determination. They had come seeking to prove humanity's worth, and now they had the chance to do so in the most profound way possible, by saving not just one civilization, but potentially countless others. Zalvira's voice crackled over the comm. "We can link the Defiant to our solar lance, but the energy transfer will be volatile. Your ship may not survive the process." Helena exchanged glances with Yuki and Aria's holographic form. The scientist and the AI both nodded their assent. "We understand the risks," Helena replied. "Send us the coordinates. We'll buy you as much time as we can to charge the weapon." As the Defiant maneuvered into position, the battle around them intensified. The Devourers, slowly regaining their collective consciousness, began to sense the threat posed by the solar lance. They threw themselves at the Luminae, defenses with reckless abandon, heedless of losses. "They know what we're planning," Yuki observed, her hands flying over her console as she worked to integrate the Defiant systems with the alien weapon. "They're trying to stop us at any cost." Helena watched the tactical display with growing concern. Despite their best efforts, Devourer ships were breaking through, heading straight for the solar lance platform. "Aria, reroute all available power to weapons and point defense. We need to keep them off that platform." The Defiant's advanced targeting systems sprang into action, swatting Devourer ships out of the sky with terrifying precision. But for every enemy they destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. It was a race against time, with the fate of entire civilizations hanging in the balance. "Energy transfer commencing," Yuki announced, her voice tight with concentration. 30 seconds to full charge." The ship groaned as power surged through conduits never meant to handle such loads. Warning klaxons blared as systems overloaded and failed. "Hull integrity at 60% and falling," Aria reported. "Estimated survival probability: 22.7%. Helena gripped her command chair, watching as the energy readings climbed higher and higher. They were so close, but the Devourers were closing in fast. A group of enemy ships broke through the Luminite lines, heading straight for the solar lance platform. 10 seconds to full charge," Yuki called out. "We're not going to make it," the tactical officer shouted, his voice edged with panic. Helena made a split-second decision. "Aria, divert all remaining power to the phase drive. Plot a course between the Devourers and the platform." "Admiral," Aria's voice was uncharacteristically urgent. "Such a maneuver at this range will almost certainly result in the ship's destruction." "I know," Helena replied, her voice calm despite the gravity of the moment. "But it's the only way to ensure the lance fires. Do it." The Defiant blinked out of existence, reappearing directly in the path of the oncoming Devourer ships. The resulting collision was catastrophic. The human vessel's hull crumpled under the impact, But its sacrifice had achieved its goal. The Devourers, their attack run disrupted, spiraled away from the solar lance platform. Charge complete. Zalvera's voice echoed through the failing comm systems. Firing now. A beam of pure stellar energy lanced out from the Lumini weapon, amplified by the Defiant's sacrifice. It cut through the Devourer fleet like a scythe through wheat, vaporizing hundreds of ships in an instant. The remainder, their hive mind overwhelmed by the sudden loss, fell into disarray. On the bridge of the Defiant, alarms blared as systems failed catastrophically. Hull breach on decks 3 through 7, Araya reported, her avatar flickering. Life support failing. Reactor containment at critical levels. Helena looked around at her crew, seeing not defeat in their eyes, but pride. They had done it. They had faced an enemy that threatened all life in the galaxy, and they had won. All hands, she called out, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. Abandon ship. Get to the escape pods. As the crew scrambled to evacuate, Helena remained on the bridge with Araya. You should go. Admiral, the AI said softly. My primary systems are integrated with the ship. I cannot leave. Helena shook her head, a sad smile on her face. A captain goes down with her ship, Araya. Besides, someone needs to make sure those escape pods get clear. As the Defiant's reactor edged closer to meltdown, Helena watched the tactical display. The Lumini forces, reinvigorated by their victory, were mopping up the remaining Devourer ships. In the distance, she could see the escape pods streaking towards the safety of the Lumini planet. Araya, Helena said, her voice barely above a whisper, send a final transmission to Earth. Tell them we did it. We proved humanity's worth to the galaxy. Message sent, Admiral, Araya replied. It has been an honor serving with you. As the Defiant systems finally gave way, Helena closed her eyes. In her mind's eye, she saw not the destruction around her, but the future she had helped secure. A future where humanity would take its rightful place among the stars, not through conquest or technological superiority, but through courage, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to standing against the darkness. The Defiant exploded in a brilliant flash of light, its destruction marking both an end and a beginning. The battle was over, but the legend of the human ship that had saved an entire sector of space was just beginning to spread across the stars. In the aftermath, as Lumini ships rescued the Defiant survivors, a new chapter in galactic history was being written. Humanity, once exiled and shunned, had proven itself to be a force for good in the universe. The ripples of their actions would soon reach the farthest corners of known space, forcing the Galactic Council to reconsider their stance on the species they had once deemed too dangerous to join their ranks. The age of human isolation was over. A new era of cooperation, exploration, and shared purpose was dawning, and it had all begun with a single ship, aptly named Defiant, that had dared to answer a call for help from beyond the stars. Redemption. In the days following the Battle of Lumini, as it came to be known, the galaxy buzzed with news of the human ship that had turned the tide against an unprecedented threat. The surviving crew of the Defiant found themselves hailed as heroes by the Lumini, their actions having saved not just a single world, but potentially the entire sector from the Devourer menace. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, now the highest-ranking survivor of the Defiant, stood before a hastily assembled council of Lumini elders. Her voice was steady as she recounted the events that had led them to this moment. We came in response to a call for help, she explained, her eyes scanning the alien faces before her. Humanity may have been exiled by the Galactic Council, but we never lost our desire to explore, to connect, to make a difference in the universe. Zalvera, the Lumini leader, stepped forward. Your people have paid a heavy price for their courage. The sacrifice of your ship and your admiral will not be forgotten. But now we must look to the future. The Devourers may be defeated here, but they will return. The galaxy must be warned. Yuki nodded solemnly. We need to contact Earth. and then the Galactic Council. They need to know what we're facing. As the Lumini work to restore their damaged communication arrays, Yuki and the surviving human crew worked tirelessly to salvage what they could from the Defiant's wreckage. Every piece of data, every scrap of technology could be crucial in the fights to come. Weeks passed before they were able to establish contact with Earth. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Humanity, having lived for years under the shadow of exile, had been galvanized by news of the Defiant's mission. Ships were already being prepared, diplomats readied, all with the goal of re-establishing humanity's place in the galactic community. But it was the response from the Galactic Council that truly shocked everyone. The message came directly from High Counselor Zarthol, its glowing form flickering to life in the Lumini Command Center. People of Earth, Lumini, and all sentient beings in the galaxy, the ancient being intoned, its voice resonating with gravity. We have received your transmissions, analyzed your data, and verified your claims. The threat posed by these devourers is beyond anything our civilization has faced before. Zarthol paused, and for a moment, Yuki could have sworn she saw something akin to remorse in its ethereal features. 10 years ago, we made a decision born of fear and misunderstanding. We saw humanity's potential as a threat, rather than the asset it truly is. Today, we acknowledge our error. The assembled humans and Lumini held their breath as Zarthol continued. In light of humanity's actions in defense of the Lumini, and by extension, the entire galaxy, we hereby resign the quarantine on Earth and all human colonies. Furthermore, we extend an invitation to humanity to join the Galactic Council as full members. The room erupted in cheers and exclamations of joy. Yuki felt tears welling in her eyes as the weight of the moment washed over her. This was everything they had fought for, everything Admiral Chen had sacrificed herself for. But Zarthol wasn't finished. We also extend our deepest apologies for our past actions. We now understand that diversity of thought, of approach, of spirit, is our greatest strength in the face of cosmic threats. Humanity's ingenuity, courage, and unwavering determination in the face of overwhelming odds are qualities that will be crucial in the challenges that lie ahead. As the transmission ended, Yuki turned to address the assembled crowd. This is a moment of triumph, but also of great responsibility. We've been given a second chance, not just to join the galactic community, but to help lead it into a new era of cooperation and mutual defense. In the months that followed, the galaxy witnessed an unprecedented period of collaboration and technological exchange. Human ships, now free to travel the stars, worked alongside Lumini and Council vessels to establish early warning systems and defense networks against the Devourer threat. The story of the Defiant and its crew became legend, taught in schools across 1,000 worlds as an example of the power of courage, sacrifice, and the indomitable spirit of sentient life in the face of cosmic horror. On Earth, a memorial was erected to honor Admiral Helena Chen and the crew of the Defiant. At its base, a plaque bore her final words: "We proved humanity's worth to the galaxy." But perhaps the most profound change came in the form of a new initiative, spearheaded by the Galactic Council and enthusiastically supported by Earth. The Defiant Project, as it came to be known, was a massive undertaking aimed at creating a multi-species fleet of advanced ships, each crewed by diverse teams from across the galaxy. These ships, inspired by the Defiant's legacy, would serve as rapid response units, ready to face any threat to galactic peace and security. They would embody the best qualities of all member species: human ingenuity, Lumine resilience, Zargan strength, and countless others. As the first of these new ships prepared for launch, Yuki Tanaka stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, Earth's new seat of power in the galactic political arena. Beside her stood representatives from a dozen alien races, all united in purpose. Dr. Tanaka. A young ensign approached, excitement clear in their voice. The UGS Nova is ready for its maiden voyage. They're requesting that you give the launch orders. Yuki smiled, thinking of how far they had come. From exiles to saviors, from outcasts to leaders. As she stepped forward to address the waiting crew, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders, but also the buoyant hope of a brighter future. To the crew of the Nova, and to all who will follow in your footsteps, she began, her voice carrying across subspace to billions of listeners across the galaxy. You carry with you not just the hopes of humanity, but of all sentient life. Remember the lessons of the Defiant. Be curious, be brave, be kind. Explore not just the stars, but the vast potential within yourselves and each other. She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike, all united in common purpose. The galaxy once feared us. Now they look to us as an example of what can be achieved when we refuse to be defined by our past, when we choose to reach out rather than turn inward. Go forth and show the universe what we can accomplish together. As the Nova's engines flared to life, Yuki felt a profound sense of completion. They had defied expectations, shattered boundaries, and rewritten their destiny. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or technological superiority, but through the very qualities that had once been seen as their greatest weaknesses, their diversity, their adaptability, their unquenchable spirit. The ship disappeared into the depths of space, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of countless beings. And as Yuki watched it go, she knew that this was not an ending, but a beginning. The next chapter of galactic history was about to unfold, and humanity would be at its heart, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw their way. In the vastness of space, a new era had dawned. An era of cooperation, of shared purpose, of united strength against the darkness. And it had all begun with a single ship, aptly named Defiant, that had dared to answer a call for help from beyond the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again, and neither would humanity.